Hello everybody. I've been talking a lot about medicinal plants last summer and this summer a little bit. So I thought I'd switch gears and let's talk about some wild edibles. I was primarily thinking about this because if you have had the kind of summer we've had so far, spring and summer, it's been dry, it's been hot. It was hot, cold, hot, but lots of dry. So as far as the garden goes, it's been a challenge this year to grow greens. Usually spinach, kale, things like that come up in the spring right away, and they are easy to grow, and then I can have them in the cooler weather, and then again when it gets cooler in the fall. But this year I have planted them 3 times and the seeds have not come up. So the only greens I have in my garden currently is the Swiss chard, which we like. But it still would be nice to have that variety. But fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at, there are weeds coming up in my garden because they like the dry weather. And the one wild edible that I like the best is purslane. And purslane, I'll post some pictures of it too, but you can kind of see here, this is what it looks like after it's been picked for a little while. You'll see it lays out flat in the ground and spreads out like crazy. So you'll see it all over in your garden or in your flower bed. It might be in your driveway. It can grow anywhere. It really likes it hot and dry. So it's been perfect for purslane. But purslane is a little different than a lot of the other wild edibles because it's more of a tangy flavor, especially if you pick it in the morning. The leaves are kind of more of a rubbery, a thicker texture. You can also eat the stem. I prefer the leaves, and I like that tangy taste when you pick it earlier in the day. If you pick it later in the day, it'll be less tangy and more, I would say, bland. You know, it's still good, but not as much flavor as in the morning. And this is, while it doesn't have the medicinal properties like the other things we've talked about, like yarrow and elderberry and things like that, this is a nutritive. And so it's high in vitamin C, high in vitamin E, and protein. If you're someone who doesn't like to eat a lot of animal protein, this is a good source for you. It also has omega-3s in it, and I think those are the main things. But mainly, I like it just because it tastes good. I'll put it in salad with some other greens. I'll just mix it in with the rest, and it's kind of pretty if you lay it in there with the red stem and the leaves looking a little bit different. I've also sauteed it with our Swiss chard and mixed it in with that. You can put it in soup. For instance, tonight I'm warming up some soup even though it's 95 degrees. So I put this in with my soup that I heated up, and stews really pretty much anything you can think of. So Swiss chard, or excuse me, purslane is a really good wild edible, and if you can't get your garden greens to grow, this is a good alternative. And it's good for you, maybe even better for you than the stuff you were trying to grow in the first place. So if you have had purslane before, be sure and let us know. Comment below, tell us what you have done with it, and I would love to hear from you. Have a good night, everybody.